Hey, what's up, guys? This is Oakley, and as always, I'm going to bring you a dissection of what we just recently saw. So it's a deluge of news. That's pretty catchy. And it's, yeah, we're basically going to be covering the panoramic. Now, check the description below for a link to the actual thing so you can scroll around. Anyways, I'm going to point out the little details you might have missed and kind of analyze it. The screenshot as a whole is basically having the camera sitting in northern Gaul, and if you look directly in the center, it's looking down the spine of the Apennines towards Italy. Now this shot is looking to the east, and you can see here, I just wanted to point out the number of forests that you can see here, and the fact that the AI is really using these defensive positions or the defensive stances a lot. And so what that means is that these factions are not going to be a pushover when you come in, say, as Rome or as an invading force. You know, they will make use of these defensive positions. It'll be hard to crack them, as well as having a bunch of forests that you will be very, very susceptible to ambush. In any case, this is one of the barbarian villages. I just wanted to point out that it looks cool. I love the differentiation from the Romans and the different architecture that you'll see. So of course in the north you'll be seeing these sort of a combination of thick stones and thatched tiles and then wooden palisades. So the thick stones I should say were an abundant building material, and they were good for keeping the how should I say, the interiors of these homes and buildings cool, and they had sort of a thermal efficiency and benefit to them. Anyways, you can see here, I just wanted to point out two different sieges. So this is going to be the first one. Now you can tell the besieging army is of course attacking it. You can see some of the ravens above the besieging force. So when you're in enemy territory, you suffer attrition. Now look at the siege itself. There are some stakes pointing into the center as well as catapults. Now I believe the catapults are aesthetic. You would have to bring or essentially recruit catapults, but I think the stakes will be something that will make an appearance on the map, because that's something that you would often do, is make an encirclement of the enemy fortification, and that's something we saw with the Carthage demo earlier. Anyways, this is the second siege, and I wanted to point out that in this case it's the Romans sieging, and this time they have a siege tower. Now what I think that means is that the siege tower that was not present in the previous one, I think this is going to depart from previous Total War games where anyone could build these siege towers. I think in order to have them, you're going to have to recruit siege towers in terms of like unlocking them militarily. Now you don't build them and lug them around, but once you engage in a siege, you're going to have the ability to build them and sort of recruit them on the spot, I think. And that's going to be sort of based on the unlocking siege technology. Anyways, I wanted to point out one of these agent types here. Now I thought he was some sort of dignitary or spy, sort of like a scout wanderer. He may also be some sort of druid, and if he is a druid, then that would make sense that he's more of the dignitary type, because they're more associated with diplomatic relations, of course, and culture. So I think that would make sense if this guy's a druid. Then again, he kind of looks like a traveler, so maybe that's that's what he is. Anyways, these guys are more clear cut. These are obviously the warriors for the various factions. So the Roman centurion on the left, looking pretty boss. Then you have the other guys on the right. Now take a look at the two on the very right, and take a look at the factions they represent. Those guys you're going to see in the next image, because there's a little bit of contention as to what each agent type is. Now obviously these are warriors, there's no doubt about it. So if you look at the two on the very right, those are going to basically turn into the next tile into various women. And I wanted to sort of enter into the debate that we're seeing online based on who these women are and what agent types they are. But in any case, here they are. So the nations that I mentioned before, the factions they represented, are now going to be seen on the outsides of this. So the two women there, obviously we've seen sort of that wanderer druid guy, we've seen the warrior, and so that leaves the woman here. She's either an assassin or some sort of diplomat. Now I don't see a diplomat walking around with a spear, so I think she's probably an assassin. But then again, some people are contending that she may be a female champion for each of these northern barbarian factions. Now that might be the case if in fact they do make it so that champions can be both male and female. That's not out of the realm of possibilities. But I think these are more likely to be sort of spies or assassins, something in between that's going to be unique to the barbarians. They could be warriors, as I said. They could be some sort of diplomats, but I don't see it happening. In any case, take a look at this image right here. This kind of shocked me when I saw this. You can see the sharks circling around the boat here. man, this looks dangerous, almost as dangerous as Sharknado, maybe ancient history Sharknado. Anyways, I'm not really sure what the sharks represent. It could be the fact that this ship is out in deep water and is suffering attrition, and that's how they represent it. Or maybe it's the fact that this ship was recently in battle and lost men to the seas, and therefore the sharks are circling it, eating the men who were thrown overboard. But you look at the banner of that ship, it's not really tattered, you don't see an attrition sign over it. So I'm really wondering what those sharks are, and I'm kind of praying that the sharks would be a recruitable unit. Do you know how sick that would be if you could have and combined land and naval battles with an all-shark army versus all dogs? Man, I would be on top of that for custom games. So yeah, fingers crossed for that to happen. But I think those are just high hopes. We'll have to see what the sharks represent. Anyways, so yeah, I will see you guys next time. Keep in touch. I'll be bringing you more videos in the near future.